we said that you're going to be able to algebraically determine if lines are parallel or perpendicular to help you solve geometric problems. Okay? So far we've dealt with the algebra a little bit. Now let's talk about what kind of problem you're going to have. Okay? So if you could take your worksheet and go to that last page and look at section 7. Right? Section 7. So section 7 would be that section. Okay? V for 5, and then the 2 lines there for 1 each step in 7. All right, so this question asks us something very specific. This says that they want you to determine which of the sides of the quadrilateral are parallel and which of the sides are perpendicular. If they're parallel or perpendicular at all. We're dealing with quadrilaterals. Can anybody tell me what the definition of a quadrilateral is? Besides, you get all the answers. I don't want to use you too much, so I'll use you up before the end of class. Really? Just a four-sided figure. Okay? Four-sided figure. So all we know is they're giving us a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral, four-sided figure. So here's a four-sided figure. Okay. Four-sided figure, right? It has A, B, C, and D. A is point -1, 4. B is -3, 2. C is the point 2, -3. And D is the point 4, -1. Now that's an example of what that could look like. Okay. So why are we trying to determine whether or not some of the lines are parallel and some of the lines are perpendicular? What might you think that we would try to be proving at that point? What are we trying to prove if we're determining the lines are parallel? Let's say we say 2 sets of the lines are parallel and all the adjacent sides are perpendicular. What did we just prove? Yeah, we just proved that it's not just a quadrilateral, but we now prove that that figure would be rectangle. So if this side happens to be parallel to this side, and this side is parallel to this side, and these are all right angles, that's the definition of a rectangle. Opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, and you have 4 right angles. That's the definition of a rectangle. So we're trying to prove that algebraically. Trying to prove that algebraically. So here we have the 4 sides. Okay. We're trying to prove that AB is perpendicular to BC, but I'm going to go further than that. Okay? I'm going to go further than that. So what I want to know is is this side parallel to this side? I want to know, is this side parallel to this side? That means that these 2 sides have to have the same slope and different y-intercepts. That these 2 sides are going to have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. I not only want to know whether or not this is perpendicular, but I also want to know if this is perpendicular. And I want to know if this is perpendicular, or this one here is perpendicular. So we need to know that line AB, is that line parallel to BC? Okay? Or those 2 parallel? Are sides AD parallel to side CD. Then I want to know, are these two sides perpendicular, right? Because if they're perpendicular, that's going to be a right angle. So I need to know, is AD perpendicular to CD? That's this one. AD perpendicular to CD. Is AD perpendicular to AB? That would be this one. Is line AB going to be perpendicular to BC? That would be this one and this one. And then is BC going to be perpendicular to CD? Now, we just did homework of 6 lines, right, that we had to write equations for. 6 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got to write equations for 6 lines again, using these points now. So now they're not saying do this. They're not saying do this. They're saying prove this. Prove this, right? So we're trying to prove that this quadrilateral is something more than just a quadrilateral. Is it something more specific? Because if those sides are parallel and if those sides are perpendicular, then we're not dealing with just a quadrilateral. We are dealing with a specialized quadrilateral, which would be a rectangle. Questions? That's where this part came in, right? Do me a favor, write this down. Separate piece of paper. Because you are going to need a room. Pardon me?
So we're just doing the one tonight? One tonight?
Yes, just the one. But see, there's 6 parts, right? So just this, 6 parts. So remember, you're going to use that slope formula. That y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You're going to use that formula. And you're also going to use that point slope. That point slope formula, which is that y minus that y1 equals m times that x minus x1. Just like we did last time. Okay? You're doing the same thing. Only now it's in more of a contextual nature. Right? Now it's more of, wow, what would I do with this? What would I use this for? This is what you would use this for. Because in geometry, it's all about not assuming something is true, but if I can prove it's true, then I can say it's true. I can't say it's true unless I can prove it's true. This whole thing down, and it wouldn't hurt you to put this on there too. Pardon? Yeah, I would. If you watch the video I gave you the site for, it'll walk you through it each and every time. Just replay. It's only, the one I showed you, the one I handed you the sheet for. So if you watch that video each and every time, it'll walk you through it step by step. How do I use that point slope formula? What do I put in? Where does it go? It's going to show you step by step. So here's my 2 points for line segment AB, right? These are my 2 points. Here's my 2 points for line segment BC. Here's my 2 points for line segment CD. And these would be my 2 points for line segment AD. Pardon me? This is what I want. I'm just using that as a reference. Because this doesn't go far enough. This is what I want. Yeah. So on that, it's just asking if 2 lines are perpendicular or 2 lines are parallel, right? Because it's trying to introduce you to it. We're past that. We need to know what kind of figure this is. So what happens if we do this and we don't have perpendicular lines? What's that mean? It's not a rectangle. What happens if we do this and we don't have parallel lines? It's not a rectangle, right? Okay. So the only thing you proved at that point is that this is going to still be just a quadrilateral, just a 4-sided figure, because the opposite sides are not going to be parallel, and the adjacent sides, the sides that should form a right angle, don't, because they're not perpendicular. We still have about 7 minutes, so you can actually get started right now. Draw the picture if you didn't yet. Please include that on your paper, and please include the 2 formulas if you don't have those written down either, so that you can have those on your paper.